let's set those goals together. This is the video for you. It is live. Karibuni sana to Marion Mwikali, and this is Love and Truth. I am so excited to be here. I am your host, Marion Mwikali, and I want us to have a conversation today about setting goals for 2026, of course, in setting relationship goals in 2026. Happy New Year. The last time I was live, it was in 2025. That was, of course, a week ago, I think. No, it was like days ago. I was live on the 31st, if I'm not wrong. And I really had so many of you engage with us, and I was so excited and I was so happy. So while I am giving you guys a few minutes to join me, I will also be doing some of the sharing that I need to do, so that I make sure that majority of you are with me and that you are joining. So as I wait for people so that we can have that conversation together, I am super excited. And as I've said, we are talking about relationships and setting goals in regards to our relationship. Majority of you guys do not even know that you need to set goals for your relationship, and that is why a lot of relationships in our modern day, even though they are working, they are really struggling. They are struggling because we are setting very weird goals, and some of us are even afraid to set goals in the first place, and that can really hinder and affect our relationships. Mko wapi watu? Mko wapi watu? Mko wapi? Where are you guys? Waiting on you guys. Waiting on you guys. Waiting on you guys. Hey. Habo. I am seeing one person who has joined me. I just wanted one person, imagine, so that I can begin my conversation today. So today we are talking about setting goals for our relationships, and it is very important that we do that. I know a lot of us don't do that, especially when you are dating. You are there just saying, it is for me to have fun, it is for me to relax, it is for me to enjoy, because at the end of the day, it is about you just experiencing fun in your relationships. But it is very important to make sure that your relationships are very intentional. A lot of couples and a lot of single people, especially those that are searching for help, do not know, and they actually need guidance on how to set intentional goals that help their relationship to grow. But majority of us do not do that. So I just want us to begin with, why is it important to set relationship goals, especially for us that are intentional about what we are doing. Ethan, please close for me the door. Nifunge mlango, please. So it is very important for you to be intentional with setting relationship goals, because it will help you. Setting goals is very important in one way. You can set goals as a single person in terms of what I am looking for and what I want, and what we call the things that you can compromise on and what you shouldn't compromise on, and that is very important. Hi, I am seeing Desert Channel Explorers. He's saying he's watching from Massachusetts. That's such a hard name to pronounce for a Kamba, but hey, thank you so much for joining me. Karibu sana. Welcome. Karibu in Africa means welcome. Karibu sana. And sana means like welcome a lot. So welcome. You're watching from Wisconsin. Wisconsin. Oh my goodness, those words. You guys, hey, the languages that words are so hard to pronounce. But let me get back to our conversation. So, because I will be so easily derailed. Otherwise, we're talking about setting relationship goals in 2026. If you have questions in terms of that area, you can ask, so that it is very engaging and very helpful. And I'm super excited that we are doing this conversation together. I was talking about why is it important to set relationship goals that you need. Number one, it is important for a single person to set goals, because it helps you to know what you want and what you do not want. If I know what I want, it is so easy for me to say no to someone because he's not what I want, or as much as they have the money and probably they do not have what I consider as core beliefs, then I won't need to take so much time I'm a Kenyan, just testing your pronunciation skills. I see you. So the words you're giving me are so hard to pronounce, but hey, I have tried. Sindio, as a Kamba who is doing this, I am really trying. And thank you so much for joining. And you were just pranking me, it's fine. So it is important for a single person to set relationship goals and just to know that this is what I want. It is also important to know while you're setting your goals that as I am having my what are these preferences, it is so easy. Do you know why it's important? It will help you from dating so many people because not everyone is for you, of course. So that will even limit the number of people that will heartbreak you because you are only giving an opportunity to the people that are qualified as per the list that you have, Sindio. So when we are having that conversation, it is very important to do that. Yes, ukweli, English ni ngumu. Hi Abdi, karibu sana. You're saying please. So I don't know why you're saying please, but karibu. Welcome very, very much. Karibu sana. How have you ever been on TV? Yes, I have. I was an actress. Okay, still am. It's just that I took a break. I was doing Kikuyu Star. I was in, I think, Tukarania in Kameme. I was acting as Mweni. I've also done Taxi Driver that was going kwa Maisha Magic, and I was Mweni as well. So that has been my main name. So yes, it is me. I have been in Kameme. My name is Mweni in Kameme. Yes, this is me. Yes, it is me. So let me know also your name. Ukiniprank na majina ngumu and telling me that your desert channel, you explore the desert. Let me know you. Oh, you know me. That's amazing. So nowadays I'm in content creation, and I also have another channel that we actually are now planning 2026 to do content for. It is called Fortizo Production, so you can also subscribe to that channel as well. The desert, while you are exploring the desert, please explore my Fortizo channel. Subscribe there. That is where I'll be posting a lot of content this year. Yes, I was acting with Njoki and Waheto. And as I was talking about importance of setting relationship goals, it is very important to make sure that by the goals that you set are very precise, because they help you. When you know what you want, you won't just date anyone, and it will help us with a lot of heartbreaks. You know, even a company, when a company is looking for, they have a vacancy, and for example, I usually say that dating is like interviews. You have a vacancy of who will be your lover, yeah. So the vacancy requires this particular kind of people. That means you don't date everyone. You have a specific type of people that you have. Okay, so that really helps, and it makes things very easy and very interesting. So it is very important for you to have a goal of what you want. Usiende tu kwa dating scene without expectation, without goals. Unaenda kudu, what are you doing there? Because you will just find anyone and everyone is interesting, because a lot of people are interested. Even those ones that are engaged, are hooked, are married, they are still there. But if you have like, these are my non-negotiables, this is what I want, this is what I prefer, it actually makes it very easy for you to be like to know to date, right? And to be very intentional in terms of like, I am looking for this particular person, and it is really important. Tumesema importance of having that goal is that it will reduce a lot of heartbreaks. It actually makes it so easy for you to actually get a person that you love and like, because they have, like, they are fitting a particular goal for a single person. Now, if you're in a relationship, ushatoka friend zone, ushatoka inaitwaje, ushatoka single, you're now dating. The two of you who are dating also need to have goals. Goals in terms of, where is this relationship going? Why are we even dating in the first place? Are we dating for the sake of just pushing time because both of us were single and we need something to do? Or do we have an end goal for this particular relationship? Are we dating because we want to be intentional and take it to marriage, and probably it's refused because there were things that when I was saying yes to you, I thought were there, and then now that I've started dating you, now I know that they are not there, Cindy. So it is very important for you to make sure that that is something that is very core for you if you are now dating. So other goals that you need to set is probably in terms of achievements. Now for those that are dating, I tend to say that msikuwe na serious goals in terms of investing together, doing what together, because hamja cement the relationship as of yet, and you don't want to be disappointed in future. So you want to make sure that, by the way, while you are now doing the dating, you're just sure that this relationship is going somewhere. When now you graduate from now the dating, where you as a couple have goals, and you graduate now to, like, probably you're now you have not been, you have married, then now you can set goals that are in line with marriage, in terms of, like, investments, what you need to invest in terms of growth, what do you want to have as a couple in the next 10 years, or monthly, and then you can be evaluating those particular goals. Sawa. It is very important to have those goals. Aya, let me read some of your comments, alafu tuende kwa point number 2. How do you identify personal and shared goals? Sawa. Let me read. Niliacha kama English ni ngumu. Where were we? This desert person was telling me I'm a simple man from a very remote village in Laikipia County, and the only YouTuber in my village. That is wonderful. Congratulations. No wonder unajiita desert. No wonder unajiita desert, exploring the deserts in Laikipia. Very awesome. It is a good name. I love it. Kumbe unajua kizungu hivi na venye you play your role as a mbot so well. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I need to do my role so well, because that is where money comes from. So as you're as you're exploring the desert, I am so excited that I get to meet you. Please let me know your name so that I can stop enjoying you. No. And keep creating content, right? It is an amazing place, especially if you're doing it because you love it. I'm happy that you're actually the first person in Laikipia to have a to you. Congrats to you. Sasa, let me know your name, niache kukuaddress kama Desert Explorer, but it can actually work because it is such a good name. I love it. Let me go back. Let me go to point what else, what we were talking about. Oh, Charles. Awesome. Let me call you Charles. But Aki woye nafurahia nikikuita Desert Explorer. It is an amazing name. Okay, Charles. Tuendelee. Uko na mtu kwanza? Are you dating? And do you have or are you married, and do you have goals in your relationship? Ebu let me know while we are having this conversation, because so far when ndio mtu mwenye ako live na ako very active, because we are talking and having this conversation together while others are coming. Okay, Charles, let me know. Even villagers call you Desert Explorer. You see, it's an awesome name, but I love it. Ata Squitty Charles, I'm actually calling you Desert Explorer. So my Desert Explorer, are you dating? Are you oh, I was once married, and now what happened? I don't want to know what happened to the marriage. I'm just like, are you now seeing someone? I tend to feel like that is something very personal. I wouldn't want you to share. But are you now dating after the marriage? Okay, let us know. So the second discussion point we're going to discuss is identifying personal and shared goals. I'm enjoying freedom. Okay, awesome. So you're in the single category. Please enjoy. But while you're enjoying freedom, please do not explore our girls like you're exploring the desert. Please. Yeah, date one. Please do not explore so many. Do not explore so many girls in the desert. We need them to be naive and very well packaged when other men are also coming to Laikipia to find them. Sawa, please. Proceed with caution. Do not explore all the women in the village, especially now that you are the explorer and they think that you are a celebrity. Please do not. Okay, you say you don't explore girls. Okay. I trust you. I trust your word. Let's continue with our discussion. Identifying personal versus shared goals. So how do you identify personal and shared goals? This one is very important because we're going to talk about Rampage says I do. What do you mean you do? Because you have not been in our conversation. Probably you're following, but I don't know what you're commenting about when you say you do. Ama, you are saying you explore girls. Okay, I don't know. I'm just leaving it there. A gold value is determined by its scarcity. Oh, yes. Desert Explorer, very true. Oh, Rampage says he explores girls. Okay, please make sure that while you're exploring, you're not taking advantage and you're not spoiling them and you're not leaving them heartbroken. When we are talking about dating, and this is something that I say very openly, is that you actually are in the process of exploring your options, but do not explore to a point that you're actually wasting women. Explore in terms of just getting to know them, knowing what they like, what they don't like. But when it comes to Rini, please make sure you know your boundaries so that you save our girls, okay? So that we help them. Umeniuliza wewe uko wapi? Mimi niko Nairobi. I am in Nairobi. So Desert Explorer anasema love is completely different from sex. Very true. Very, very true. And thank you for saying that. So wacheni nirudi kwa discussion yangu na mcomment pia in line with my discussion. Msiniache tu hanging hivyo sana ati ninajiongelesha alafu nyinyi mnanipea stories zingine. Simnisaidie hata tuongee hii story yenye naongea so that we enjoy conversing, si ndio? Tunaongelelea setting relationship goals hii mwaka ya 2026. If you have a comment in regards to setting goals, whether you have ever set a goal or not, let us know ndio tujue kama zinasaidia wase, because one thing I know is that if you don't have goals, hautakuwa na like how do I explain it? It's like you're waking up but you don't know the reason why you're waking up. So you're in the dating scene, you're in that relationship scene, but you don't know why you're there. So it is very important to make sure that you are dating, okay? Always here for you. Thank you, Desert Explorer. We are talking together. So I am going to my second discussion point where we are talking about identifying personal versus shared goals. If you are someone that is in a relationship, having personal goals is very important. Remember, as an individual, whether or not you are single and then you get into marriage, you're still a person and you are whole, right? This person is not coming. I know tunakuanga na historia kusema sijui half 50-50 sijui, so this one is my better half. There is nothing like half. It is a full person with another full person that is making one other full person. And that full person is now the entity where we are talking about the marriage institution itself, where it's now we are saying Mr. and Mrs. someone that are becoming one. But you know, you are a whole individual. Hakuna nusu mkate kwa hii story. And because you're a full person, you need to have your own personal goals. These personal goals are very important because they keep you grounded, they keep you working hard, right? Because even when you get into marriage, as much as we women submit to the men, we also have a vision of what we want to do. Like Desert Explorer hapa ameniuliza swali, I am a content creator. I was acting before I met my husband. Does that mean sasa because I've met him and him is not in the acting field, at I stop acting altogether? No, I am continuing with my acting. So I have my goals that are going on as much as I became his wife and I submitted to him, and now we are doing what we are doing together. Sawa. So it is very important for you to have your own personal goals. These goals are very important because they help you to like grow on a personal level. Usibaki tu uko tu hapo, you don't have anything you're doing, you're not looking like you have a future. Yani wewe umeng'edhia tu konde tu kwa relationship. It's not fun and it's not exciting. Every person needs to just bring their best foot forward. Now, it is important to have your personal goals, as I've said, in a relationship, and whether you're single or not, because remember kuna mimi mwenye nimeolewa where we have now shared goals that we need to continue doing for the rest of our lives until death do us part. But then there's someone who is in a relationship, of course sahi ni couple, but ayuko sure kama your relationship ita end up to marriage. So it is not very urgent for you to have goals, because ukikuwa na hizo shared goals and then the relationship goes south, then you will be heartbroken 10 times. Your heart is broken because the person you love now is not the love of your life, and then apart from that is that also utakuwa heartbroken that mulikuwa build what I would tend to say we were building a future that was not actualized. So those are two heartbreaks at the same time when the relationship ends. I know that there are marriages that will end, si ati ni zote zinaenda vizuri. There are others that break, and that can also affect the shared goals. So that's why we are talking about it is important to have your own personal goals, because those ones will keep you going. Hata kama hizi zingine za relationships zimeharibika, meaning that hautabaki tu hauna form. You will know that this is what I'm working towards. This is the end of the day. You will not be left hanging. Sawa. So it is important to have personal goals, and then you as a person who is a woman have your own personal goals. As a man akuwe na personal goals zake, then the two of you come together and you form other goals which will be the shared goals that you guys will be working on together. Okay, Desert Explorer anasema lack of common interest also causes havoc in marriage. Very true. It is very true. So that's why we are talking about you guys having shared goals, because this also like cuts across in terms of just having common interest and muna work towards something together. I remember when I was single, sinimedate watu kadhaa, because I did not just meet my husband and marry him alone. I wasn't married a virgin as well. So I explored, yeah, I explored, not the desert, but but I explored a few African men. And while I was dating, especially in my early dates, right, when I think I started dating when I was 18. Was I 18 or 17? Thereabout. And that was my first boyfriend, who I started dating when I think I was in Form 2, I think so. I think we were in Form 2 when we made things official. And then we dated all the way until my first year in campus. So we dated for like 4 years. And in that relationship, I was so naive. I didn't know all these things that we're talking about. And there's probably a young person who is listening to me. I want to tell you guys, by the way, there's no pressure, especially for those ones mnataka tu kuingia kwa relationships because you think that there's something amazing that you're missing. Trust you me, you're missing nothing. You can actually wait. So don't feel pressure, by the way, to fall for anyone or to date anyone, because if you do not, if you're not cautious, you will end up being hurt. Aya, unaniambia ongea Kiswahili bana. You see, I want to, but the problem is that ninaongelesha both Kenyans and people who are not in Kenya who do not understand Swahili. So that's why ninaongea English, so that I can actually make sure that I am understood by people who are outside Kenya. So nisamehe that I am not talking purely Swahili, and I'm also limiting the Swahili because I do not want other people who are listening to me not to hear me. Sindio? Kwani unasema uongo? Anyway, so as I was saying, mimi I had that relationship. Umebarikiwa na kila kitu. I thank God. Thank you so much. Everyone that enters into a relationship without knowing themselves and knowing why they are in relationships, we end up being very hurt. So I loved this guy, as I was saying initially, and I loved that guy for 4 years, and we were in a relationship for 4 years, and I do not know his side of the story. I'm talking about mine. But because I did not know why we were dating, I was just dating. A lot of young people, we get into relationships because other people are also doing the things that we are doing. So it is in that space that we just follow what other people are saying and doing, because hakuna mtu mwenye anakuja kukusaidia. So you're just in the relationship because you just want to be in the relationship. Thank you so much for your comment. Mimi najua si mjinga, and thank you for being here. Unajua, God akubless sana. Let us continue having our conversation. So mimi nilikuwa kwa relationship because I just did not want for people to call me, ama unajua kuna watu wanaingia kwa relationship because everyone else is in a relationship. You do not, hata si infatuation ama obsession venye Desert Explorer anasema, ni more or less hautaki kukaa ni kama uelewi vitu. You don't want to miss out on what is happening, and it's like there's nothing you're missing really. So I was in a relationship for 4 years for that reason. I did not want people to say that I am not dating. Nilikuanga pia mimi watu wakisema wale nini wanaitwaje, wale wenye wanadate wasimame, I want to also be in that place where I'm standing. And that was an amazing opportunity, and I enjoyed dating that person. The problem with that is that you miss out on a lot of things, and you do not have a relationship that is meaningful because hauna reason ya mbona una date, apart from kama venye mimi ninasema I was dating for the sake of it, si ndio? So because of that you experience that, number one, you're wasting a lot of time, and apart from wasting time, you also find out that you are in a place where the things that you are doing are really not effective. Sijui kama nina make sense. And you will just be in a space where you're wasting so much time. You are not satisfied, quote unquote, because the needs that you have are not being met, sindio? And that can really affect someone, sindio? That being said, I just want to say that I am super excited that I am seeing people who are joining us and are helping us to have this conversation. And I am really excited. So ebu wacha kwanza niangalie comment section. Desert Explorer, mimi sina moderators. I don't think I need a moderator, but it is when wachana na yeye aongee. It is very good to have feedback. It's just that it beats sense why someone would come to a conversation that we are having and start abusing me, and I don't know why you are abusing me, but it is well. As I was saying, so when I was dating at that particular time, I was very naive. So I was open to a lot of things. And because I did not know what I wanted in the dating scene, it was really affecting my effectiveness in terms of like opportunity to be loved, experience fun. But it was bad because nilikuwa tu na waste. Unajua, nilikuwa na waste time, and I also did not like know what I wanted. So of course that also hindered a lot of things. But it is very important, especially if you're a young person, to know what you need in a relationship so that you do not waste a lot of your time. I went to a lot of dates, I wasted a lot of money, and I also wasted that person's money and time because pia mimi sikuwa najua nataka nini. So niko tu hapo lingering and wasting time, and a few others that I also wasted their time mpaka nikafika mahali now where I knew that this is the time that I am ready for a relationship. And then I became very intentional with dating. So if you're a young person and you as ya social media, tuachane na pressure ya watu, tuachane na pressure ya even your peers, and just as an individual ask yourself these questions. Why am I even in that space of dating? Am I in a space where I feel I am ready to date? Because if you're not ready, usijipe pressure ya kuingia kwa relationship, because it won't help you in any way. Desert Explorer, I understand you. Yeah, very crazy, but I love them. So it is very important kwa relationships, venye nimesema, kuwa na personal goal na mkuwe na shared goals where you know by the way tukipatana, tukidate, tukifanya nini, tunaenda wapi, si ndio? It is very important. So nikimalizia story ya why that particular time and now, I think that ukidate when you're younger, haunanga hizo, you don't have those goals, and you need to have them, because these goals are very important because they help you to know what you want and what you do not want. So that is very important. The other thing is we're going to have another discussion on aligning. We are going to talk about aligning expectations with reality. Desert Explorer is telling us that ashaitwa alien. Man, people are cruel. Pole aki Desert Explorer. Man, I'm so sorry. Anyway, so on the other discussion point is aligning expectations with reality. Why would someone call you an alien lakini hata kama? Sorry. Aligning expectations with reality. So oh my god, Desert Explorer. Usinichekeshe. Expectations and reality are two different things, as we all know. The reality in the ground is that you will never get a perfect person, and you will never actualize all your goals, especially the ones that are shared. especially for a relationship that is not stable. Most of the relationships zinakwanga na komsi komsa, right? There is a 50-50 chance that the relationship will work out or not, especially for people who are just dating or they are in their earlier days of dating. Desert Explorer, bye. Okay, you can charge and hopefully utatupata ama weke charger and we continue having conversations while it is charging. Mine is also on low, so I'm charging while I'm on live, so unaweza charge and we continue. But if not, thank you so much for making today amazing. Thank you, Charles. I'm super excited, and salimia watu wa Laikipia, and I hope that everything that you do prospers. Let me continue with my conversation. Kama utaweza nitafute kwa channel description. Okay, I will after I finish I will try. Let me even write down. I will. But sasa wewe una explore deserts, tutaongea kweli? Tutaongea kweli explore deserts? Anyway, I will see, I will check in your description if you have a way of reaching out and see. Yeah, I will. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ndakutafuta. So aligning expectations with reality. So expectations na reality inaweza kuwa very different, especially because when I was saying relationships are 50-50. There are relationships that even in marriages, because marriages, all of us are not getting into marriages for the right reasons. So unapata pia ama hata you did not know the person that you're dating or marrying, and then you get into marriage and you realize, wow, this was a mistake, and then of course you can't stay in the mistake because it will continuously hurt every other day. So you decide, by the way, let me opt out. So it also depends with the reasons why you got married and also the person that you got married to. Okay, so that being said, expectation can really be different. It can really mess the entire relationship and also the goals that we are talking about. It is the one thing that affects the change that that people that people have to I've lost my line of thought because of the comments. I'm so sorry. So the expectations and the reality can affect the things that you guys are doing. Okay, so because the possibility of the marriage being very successful and the marriage failing is 50-50, it also affects how the success rate of that goal that you're setting will be. So it is very important to make sure that you align the expectations that you have with the reality that is on the ground. I will give an example. For example, if you're dating now, as we are having this conversation, there is probably a goal that you have set, which is an expectation, or you're single, you're setting expectations. So my expectation is, if I am a single person, I want to get married, or not married, I want to find someone who I can date in the next 3 months. Cindy, that is a goal I have set for myself. So what am I doing even as I am setting myself? Cindy, the first thing I am doing is making sure that I am open to people who will send me inboxes on all my social media platforms, and also being very intentional in going places where people are. I can meet someone that I want to date. Because I also have a list of my do's and don'ts in terms of the person that I will get. I will also now be in the lookout and be saying, this is a person that I would date, this is not a person that I would date, and that also helps the criteria in terms of this is what I'm looking for. When I get like 4 people, for example, that have been inboxing me, or I have gone out on events and I've met these people, and then I come to a point of saying, out of these 4 people, only like 2 or 3 people will be the people that make sense. So I could disqualify them again, and then I remain with probably 1 person who I'm saying, this is the person that I feel comfortable dating, and then now we start that journey, knowing that we have now a relationship, that is how my 3-month sequence will move, and that how it will progress. Thank you so much, Desert Explorer. I will consider being a motivational speaker. So because Desert Explorer is almost leaving us, the next person who will engage me, thank you so much. Aya, if the expectation enye niko nayo venye tunasema aligning expectations with reality is making sure that number one, there is actually a social interaction that I am having that will make sure these 3 months that I have set for myself are adequate for me to get into a relationship with someone. Sindio, if I am putting, for example, a day, I say that by next week I should be dating, it means that the expectations I have vis-a-vis the reality that is on the ground are not aligned, because there's no way I can meet someone now and be dating tomorrow, because that will mean that sijamuanalyze vizuri na sina goals. The only goal niko nayo ni ati I want to date, and that can not be the only goal that you have when you're getting into a relationship. So, because you want to align the expectations with reality, is make sure that you have good time, you have goals that stretch out in a way, and goals that are flexible. As much as they are fixed, they are specific, but they are goals that you can actually work with, because when it comes to love and dating, as much as you have time frames and you want to be time bound, make sure that you're also in a place where you're flexible, so that you're not heartbroken or you don't feel like you are delaying or you're being delayed, because the expectations and the reality need to meet. Sindo, if you're too busy, for example, you cannot say that I will meet someone in the next sijui where and where, because you don't have a lot of time to go out for social events, unless the person that you're meeting is someone who is in your circle when it comes to work. And probably you don't want to date someone who is in that circle, or probably the circle that you're in terms of work is not more interactional, so it's not a place where you can say that this is the person I met. For someone who is like a banker, they interact with a lot of people, Cindy, because their workspace is very social, but when they are doing their job as a cashier, it is so hard for them to start asking you if you're dating, because them is like, this is what brought me, and versa versa. It is so hard for you to say that nitapata mtu kwa bank, unless ikuwe ni ile time that is the last person you have served either before lunch, and then you engage in a simple like hi, but it's hard to say that that is like the initial meetup place. Sijui kama na make sense. So aligning your expectations with reality is very important. Make sure that una align, and then don't be too ambiguous. Make sure that you're very specific, and then flow as well with the kind of person you are. Okay, make sure that ata una flow to na like the people around you, and also be very specific. I'm going to talk about also again creating measurable steps to achieve these goals. Measurable steps, venye nimesema, it is very important to have a timeline, for example, and say in this year this is what I want to do. In the next, if I'm supposed to do this in a year, especially in a relationship, then for the next 2 months I will be focusing on this, I'll be focusing on the other. And then a lot of us, especially when we are doing goals for our relationships, we don't put goals of working on ourselves and improving ourselves. What a lot of us don't know is that we can use the relationships that we have had previously as data. So I started by saying I had a 4-year relationship that I started with at the age of 17. So by the time I was 22, I was done with the relationship. But I can use my 4 years of experience then to analyze how, if I am to date another person now that I was 22, to probably the other year, how I was to date, because I have already received data from the person I was dating in terms of what I want, in terms of what I don't want, in terms of what I consider important and what I don't. A lot of people also we are dating can actually see through our weaknesses and our flaws, and they can tell you. There's someone who will come and tell you, by the way, you know what, Marion, since we started dating, I have noticed that you have an issue with anger. You have an issue with probably getting serious. You have an issue with this. And those are data that we need to actually receive as individuals and be like, I dated someone and this is the feedback they gave me. And the feedback they gave me is to help me to become a better person. So even in setting goals for relationships, you can also put a goal there for yourself. It's not really about getting another or getting into another relationship. It can actually be saying that unajua mimi as Marion, now that I have come from a 4-year relationship, and these are some of the things that this person was complaining about, and I feel like they are my weaknesses. I can use a break of 1 year and work on my weaknesses. There are people who will give you weaknesses, unfortunately, or say things because they're just in a bad situation, and they will just say things because they just want to just ruin your day. So when you are dating such a person, there are things they will tell you that you cannot use as data. So make sure also, even while you're using the data that you're receiving, for example, if I hurt you, there are things I will say when I'm angry as compared to when I am actually in my good mood, and there are things that I will say out of anger that I do not mean. So you have to also be in a place while you're picking this data to use. You have to be in a place where you are analyzing this data very carefully. When this person was giving me this information and telling me, by the way, I'm not very good with communication, do they mean it because ukweli I am not very good, ama it's because I did not communicate with them at this particular period only? So while you're also analyzing the data that you're being given, make sure that the data is accurate. Sawa. The other thing about just putting goals for yourself and growing yourself is that if you improve some of the weaknesses you have, for example, you're coming from a 5-year relationship that did not work, and you know why it did not work. There are reasons why it did not work, and some of them can be from you or from the person that is now what we consider your ex. So if the issues are coming from your ex, you can use that as data and say, the main reason my relationship did not work with XYZ is because he was not a very good communicator. He wasn't very good at communication. And this was an issue for me because I need someone who can communicate. So while you are doing a goal for what you are looking for or for preferences, then put this issue that was an issue with your ex as something that you need to prioritize in the other relationship, and be like, me as an individual, I actually prefer someone who is very good at communication because I felt like it was an issue that affected the relationship that I had. Okay, so when you're looking for the next candidate who will date you and who will do life with you and you want to date, make sure that that communication is one of the things that you highlight as one of the things that you actually really need in a relationship. That is one way of knowing how to write the list of the people or the someone that you're looking for. Now, when we are talking about some of the challenges that you also had, there is also a part you played where you as the individual is the problem. You have an issue, and that issue was highlighted as the reason why probably the relationship did not go on, or it was highlighted a lot as much as it is not the reason why you guys broke up. Then now you pick that and say, as me, I am taking time out to work on that relationship and be in a place where I am actually working on this relationship. I am working on myself because I want a better relationship. So I write down some of those things that were highlighted by my ex and be like, you know what, I'm taking probably 3 months or 6 months of active self development and self analytics and just growing myself and do self growth, where Nina decide, you know what, I was told I'm not very good at this, I should work on this, I should work on this, and then I write them down and I put a time where I am working on them so that I can improve myself. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this, one, because I want a better relationship when I get back into dating, and also I want to become a better version of myself. This data is to help me to be a better version of myself. Sindio? So as I am working on being a better version, then again I need to use this data. Meaning the person that I am coming to date after I have finished dating XYZ, I will become nitakuwa nikikuja as a better person. Sindio? So it is very important to keep on doing these goals and just working on yourself. That's why we are saying it is very important to set those goals. Higher. While we are talking about just using data from relationships, there are some of us that have experienced childhood traumas and other traumas, by the way, that we have in our lives that we did not know we had. And of course, these things affect, probably number one, the kind of people that we date, and also the kind of experiences we want to have in relationships. So, because you cannot align your goals with your weaknesses and be like, unajua nimenotice this is the kind of people I'm attracting because of probably where I'm coming from and all that, then what you need to do is actually observe, be very observant with what you are been dating, the experiences you have, if they are similar or different, and then from there, from the data that you are from the people that you have dated, then make a conclusive decision and be like, I have been choosing toxic relationships because I have had a very bad childhood trauma that is affecting me, and I need to take time to work on it so that I do not keep on repeating the same pattern in my other relationships or in the next relationship that I'm hoping will lead to marriage, probably, or me settling down. So it is very important to use your life as data. Please make sure that you're very intentional and very open-minded and also very honest with yourself while you're doing this, because it is important for you, because at the end of the day, what you're doing is gathering data for yourself, to improve yourself, and also to make sure that the people that will encounter you have the best experience at the end of the day. When we're talking about creating measurable steps to achieve goals, it's just making sure that, okay, set goals, you're number one, not very ambiguous, you're very specific in terms of this is what I want, and I want this at this particular time frame, and also using what you have to accomplish those particular goals. I know that a lot of us set goals, but we do not have the willpower to make sure that we accomplish these goals. So the other thing is also to get people who will walk that journey of accountability with you. It can actually be not your partner, but someone who is close to you, who will tell you, cheki, umeanza ufala, stop it, because you are repeating the same cycle and the same pattern that you had, and we do not want you to have the same patterns, because we want you to grow and to become better. So it is very important to make sure that those are some of the things that you're doing for your life, so that you have an effective goal that you're working with. Sawa sawa. The other thing is, you need to always review these goals every other month, or track your progress, because it is to track the progress of what you're doing. Sindio? Have people who are joining us, and we have goals that we have set previously, and they did not go well, and I think majority of the time is because we do not hold ourselves accountable. We don't set like accountability trackers and be like, you know what, I decided I'm going to do this in 3 months, and I'm going to evaluate and see if I was able to do that, or even if I got close to it, because that actually helps you to know that you're going in the right direction. If you don't track your progress, you will not know the kind of progress you're making, and that can really affect the growth that you're trying to have, and the goals that you will have need to be like things that will help you to become a better version of yourself. So I just want to ask everyone that is joining me, what are some of the goals that you have for yourself in 2026 in terms of relationship? Do you what is your goal for your relationship in 2026? If you are in a relationship, are you thinking of, probably, I want to increase our intimacy, and because of increasing our intimacy, then we need to do probably couples dates, we need to do dinners, we need to do date outs, we need to do probably couple dating and everything. What are your goals for 2026? I will ask a few of you, if you're willing and you would share, kindly share with us. If you're also single, can I ask you, what is your relationship goal for 2025, if you have any? Is it to grow yourself, so you're taking time to just be single and grow yourself and be like, you know what, I'm working on myself so that I can become a better version of myself? Or are you in that space where you're like, I want to enter into a relationship, and that is my relationship goal for 2026? So let me know, share with us, so that we can have a conversation while I am answering a few questions that I have here. Please share with us, what are your goals for 2026 in relationships? So I'm going to start with the first one. How do I set relationship goals as a single person? So as a single person, I initially started by saying you set goals in different categories. The first one that you will set is on a personal level, in terms of one, the kind of person you want to date. Okay, if you have for example, what are these preferences of the kind of person you prefer to date, we can go as specific as possible. You can go to as specific as color and ethnicity. You can be as specific in terms of height, the physical appearance of the person that you want. You can also go to as specific as also in terms of the career that you would want that person probably to be coming from. But then again, as you are being specific with that particular thing, make sure that while you're being very specific, you are also in a space where you give yourself room to, what is this word, you're flexible. Because then again, you might meet an awesome person who is probably shorter than you expected and is not in line with those specific things that you needed, and that can make you maybe turn off that particular person, yet that is the right person for you. So as much as you're being very specific, also be very flexible when it comes to that. So you can set goals in terms of the physique, you can set goals in terms of the moral characteristics that you would want this person to have. You can set goals in terms of, like, now as a relationship, what are your non-negotiables? If you are entering in a relationship, this is my non-negotiables. My non-negotiables are, I need a person who is probably from this religion, someone who is probably this age bracket. I need someone who is this and this, someone who is mature. I need someone who is whatever it is, and those are your non-negotiables probably. And then you will be like, these are things that I would want as bonuses. Things like I don't mind him being tall, I don't mind him being very good with his English, I don't mind him being very good with his Swahili, I don't mind, those are some of the things that now you top up to, like setting goals as a single person. The other goal I feel like as a single person you should set are for yourself. And I remember when I was single, someone asked me, Marion, you have an ideal person that you probably want to date. Si kila mtu anakuanga na ile mse anasema, hey, this is my ideal person. If I get someone who is looking like this, who is dressing this particular manner, who behaves in this particular way, if I get this particular person, I am set for life. Who you consider is your right person, sindio? But then if that person is given to you right now and appears to you the way you are, will they accept you? Will they prefer you? And for me at that particular time, my answer was no, because I felt like, okay, if that person is that right and that perfect, then I also need to work on myself so that I am at par with the person that I am looking for. So also, while as a single person you're setting goals for what you want other people to bring or to become or to be, set goals also for yourself and ask yourself those questions like, if that person that I am looking for is given to me the way I am right now, will they accept me? Will they think that I am the right person? If not, then work on yourself so that you are the right person as well. Ndio huyo mse, peradventure you meet that person and that person actually exists, does not refuse to date you because you are not their ideal person. Sindio? So work on yourself and make sure that you also, as a single person, you set goals for that you are deciding, by the way, you know what, as I'm looking for this and this and this and this and this, I am also working on 1, 2, 3 things that actually need to align with the kind of person that I am preparing myself for. Sawa? Yeah, so that's how you set goals as a single person. And then as you're setting those goals, please do not be too limited in terms of like the places that you are in or in terms of your background. Be very open-minded, but remember you need to be flexible, because the people that are coming to our lives are not 100%. You will never find 100% replica of what you're looking for. So there will always be something missing, something lacking. So you also have to be very open-minded and very flexible to change when that time comes for that person that you're dating, you want to date comes. The other question is, how often should couples review goals? I feel like you should review your goals depending on how you guys have set the goals. So personally, we have a long-term goal that is what we are working towards for 10 years. And then we have a mid-term goal that is like in 5 years, what are we supposed to achieve? And then we have like a 1 year maybe, or what we call short-term goals. So that one we can even review on a monthly basis or on a daily basis, depending on how long, for example, that goal is supposed to be. So for example, if you're saying that as us as a couple, we are working on buying probably a particular fixture or a particular furniture or something in the house, or a cooker or something, unajua those ones are not things that you can write a 10-year plan. Probably you will give it a 3-month plan, but it is almost a wholesome, because you are working on building your home and making sure that you have everything that you need, sindio? So the essence is making your house a home. And out of making your house a home, there are things specifically you have written down. For example, as a couple, you are saying that these are things that we can buy every now and then. So for such kind of goal, you can review it every other now and then, probably when you get a chunk of money and be like, you know what, according to the goals we have, these are the things that we wrote down we need to probably get, and the amount of money we have can get A and B and C and D, and probably the other things we need to either save up and continue saving up until we get to the amount that is required to get that particular thing. So when you ask the question of how often should a couple review their goals, I think that is also dependent on the goal itself and how time bound it was, right? Depending on the time that you had put for that particular goal, then I think that also helps it. I am talking about couples who probably now, apart from the finances, apart from the growth, let's go back to now you guys being in a relationship and just socializing and bonding together as a couple. I think you should review some goals that are in line with you guys socializing on a monthly basis or on a bi-monthly, that is like every after 2 weeks or a week, and just ask yourself, guys, how good have we been interacting or have we been communicating, right? A lot of couples challenges come in the area of sex. We find that couples are not satisfied sexually, or the expectations that they have and the reality on the ground becomes very different, because what they wanted and what they are receiving is not the same. So you can actually have those conversations and ask your partner on a regular basis, like reviewing each other. And once you get to the review, the honest truth is that sometimes the feedback we get is not very positive, but let's not be defensive, especially if we want to make our relationships work. We need as couples to be very open-minded and be like, you know what, tell me, I might think that I'm probably performing so well, but I am not. So it is very good to be open, but receive the feedback and then be in a place where you're also open to work on it and be like, okay. So for example, if your partner tells you sexually you do not probably satisfy them, then your question will be, don't be defensive and be like, where wacha, where when you're this, you're that. No, be very intentional in like, that is their concern as your partner, they are not satisfied. So you as the other partner, your question is, how can I satisfy you? Instead of being defensive and be like, we wacha na venye wewe ndio uko na shida, sijui wewe uko na nini. No, don't be defensive. Just be in that place where you're like, okay, so how do I satisfy you then? Because if what I have been doing has not been working, can you direct me to what will work for you? Because they are your spouse, so you need to make sure that you satisfy them. Okay, so that is very important. So you should review the goals as often as possible, right? In terms of communication, you can have communication goals and be like, you know what, our goal is to make sure that we are transparent, we communicate on a daily basis. So you can review that even on a daily basis. There are things that you can actually review daily, there are others you can review weekly, there are others you can review monthly, depending on the goal. That is what I can answer and how best I can actually give that feedback for that particular question. So make sure you review. The point is, make sure that there is actually a review that goes on, please. So the other question is, what if my partner does not want goals? Well, this can be very difficult, because I know that there are people who want to just live wako zile za let's be spontaneous, let's just enjoy life, wacha kutuweka kwa box. You know, they feel like maybe setting goals is putting the relationship kwa box. But maybe I think also, number one is accept them because they are your partner. You chose them for that reason. I think that you can start with your own personal goals and then work on them. Even if the personal goals involve them, you work on that particular goal. Once you do that, is also just give them a taste of probably a goal that you're working on that is related to them. You are the one who is doing the goals. You kind of make sense. It's like you have decided that I am working on probably how I talk to you, and you tell them I am working, this is a goal I am doing because I want our relationship, for example communication, to be easy. Maybe I am easily angered, so I am taking a journey, a goal for your sake, so that I do not become so angered or quickly angered when I respond when you talk to me. And while I am working on that, I am doing it for you. They will see the importance of probably setting goals together. And also, when you're starting, don't make so big goals. Huyu mse ata give up, ataona ni kama ni manyara mnafanya. So maybe also start with small goals in terms of just being very specific and being like, you know what, we can start by doing dates once a week, or making sure that we have dinner dates for us to just reconnect and keep the vibe going and keep the intimacy. You know, we can decide we are doing candle lit dinners, even if it's in the small space we have. We don't have to spend money or go on restaurants, or we can do picnics. Yani something that is within our budget, that is actually a goal that is drawing us closer. That can open up the partner to now want to actually walk a journey of setting goals with you. If they are still very persistent and they do not want to set the goals, don't force the goals on your partner, because what you will do is you will be pushing them away instead of drawing them closer to you. And the importance of having these relationship goals is for you two to work together as a unit and share and have shared common interests. So if they do not want, I think that also can be a challenge. You can try and understand why they do not want. It can also come from a place where they have been hurt before. Probably they have invested somewhere else, and you know, once bitten twice shy, so they don't want to repeat the pattern. So make sure you also find out the reason why they do not want shared goals with you. Don't just assume. Probably you're the one who let them down. They tried to do a goal with you before and you are not very willing to participate. So that can also cause them to be like, I cannot do this with you again. But then it also depends with where you guys are coming from. So make sure you know why they do not want. Then from the answers that you will receive as to why they do not want to set the goals with you, then you can decide on the way forward, right? It can also be the main reason they do not want to set goals with you is because they do not see a future with you. And I'm not saying that that is the case for every relationship, but just because that can also indicate, it can be a good wake up call for you to stop investing your time and energy where it is not needed, because probably this person is not in the same space, mental space with you. So it is very important to actually know why they do not want to have shared goals with you. Sawa sawa. Yeah, so I think that I have tried to answer that, but in case you are watching and you have other answers that can help us, let us also know, right? What would you tell someone who their partner does not want to have goals with them? The other question that I saw that was very asked a lot was, uh, can personal growth goals impact my relationship? And the answer is yes, they do impact your relationship, and it can impact your relationship in two ways. Personal growth goals are very important because what we are talking about, it is personal. You on a personal level growing, becoming. Growth means you becoming better, Cindy. So it can impact your relationship in this way: you grow, you become better, and then the person that you're dating will experience a better version of you. Higher, you can grow, yes, you can become better, but the person you're with, because them they have not grown, they have not become better, they feel like now you have surpassed them. So because you become a better person, not really better, but you have grown to a point that now you feel like this person who you are dating now becomes an hindrance to you. So personal growth can work both ways. It can be a pro for the relationship or a con, depending on the two of you. Because if you grow together personally, that is even better, because you make your relationship more richer, and also you give the best because you are now you have grown, sindio. But if one party is growing and the other one is not, it can now bring the challenge. It can cause the other person one to be challenged to become better and level up, or the vice versa, which is now they feel intimidated, and because you have grown and you have surpassed them, then it also brings an end to the relationship, especially if the other person is not willing to grow while you're growing. The last question that I saw that was very asked was, what's a realistic first goal for the couple? What's a realistic first goal for the couple? That is a very interesting question. I will answer it on the next slide, but I would really ask a lot of you that are live to give me your questions, not questions, to give me your feedback. What do you think is the realistic first goal for a couple? Yeah, kindly share and let us know. If you will watch this later, kindly also let us know what you think, because I would really love to know. I will also respond to it when I go live again, so that I also read some of your feedbacks depending on how you will have responded, and I will give you feedback even as we get to other conversations. So niliachia hizi the feedback that I have been getting. Who is this? Batista Ocampo Lucio is saying hiya from Chekarani. I think he just noticed who I am. So yeah, same girl. I'm super excited you guys are here with me, and that you have spent your 1 hour with me. Everyone that has commented, even if the comments, some of them have not been very friendly, thank you so much for commenting. I don't take your comments for granted. We were discussing how to set relationship goals for 2026, and I hope that you have not just set relationship goals for 2026, but you have set goals for yourself, and that you are working towards achieving them. Thank you so much for being on this particular platform with us. My name is Marion Mwikali, and this is Love and Truth. See you on the next one. I will begin official uploads next week. I'm working on the content that we are uploading, and I'm promising you will enjoy everything that we are creating. We usually post content that is for Love and Truth. We post on Thursdays, and we also post on Sundays videos talking about relationships. So please consider subscribing and also look out for that. We will be going live on Mondays and Fridays. On Mondays and Saturdays, to have conversations. Probably some of the questions that you guys will be asking, even in our comment section, so that we have a conversation about them on this particular platform. And I can't wait to interact with you. This year I am committing myself to getting to know the audience that God has allowed me to have, to know the subscribers that you guys have subscribed, the 500 plus subscribers, so that we have a journey where we get to know one another. You get to know me, and I also get to know you, and we have an interaction. So thank you so much for being here. If you have questions, matters, relationship, please don't shy away from asking us, and we will always answer. Sawa. So please keep the questions coming, keep the comments coming, and also consider subscribing the channel, because great content is in store for you. And I know 2026 is the year that we are going to explode. For those that are single, I'm sure that we are getting into relationships. For those that are in relationships, it is the season we are transitioning probably to marriage. And for those that are in marriage, it is time for us to grow, right? Not for us to transition anywhere, but for us to grow, so that our marriages are exciting and fun. So I'm super excited, and I'm happy that we're walking this journey together with you guys. And I love you guys, and I really appreciate you guys for your feedback, for your comments, for your subscriptions. God bless you and do you well, and see you on the other live. Bye bye. God bless.